shearers alongside our very own Robbie Musto. Gentlemen, let's talk about football, shall we? Robbie, I'll come to you first. Manchester United's joint worst start to a Premier League season. Your reaction after that game?
It's difficult to know where to start because defensively it was a different setup. McTominay played as a central defender, which is rare. Attacking-wise, they created very, very little. Now, this guy's had a lot of time. He's had different windows. He's had plenty of money to spend as well. And to watch that's got to be painful for United fans because that's nowhere near what they should be doing. Going to West Ham United that are better of late but haven't been brilliant this season, and to be on the back foot, and then in desperation they improved a little bit later on, but that's not good enough for United.
Of course, huge credit to West Ham United, a magnificent result for them, but the story and the headlines will be, Alan, about Mourinho and Manchester United. Your initial reaction?
Well, I don't know where to start. They were hopeless from start to finish. When you look at the first goal, the way Young left Anderson, let him run free into the box, didn't trace him whatsoever. Yes, it might have been half a yard offside, but that sort of summed Manchester United up. Too slow, lethargic, and very, very weak. And there's obviously huge problems at that football club. Something has to give sooner or later.
What's going to give?
Well, I think eventually Mourinho will lose his job. As hard as that takes him, as successful as he has been, I really can't see him turning it around.
They've got Newcastle next. Then they go to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge in the league. How long do you think he's got, Mourinho, Robbie?
Well, if these losses keep coming like this, then it's a matter of weeks. I mean, it has to be, because you're starting to look at a club like United with the finances required in the Champions League qualification, and that might start to look distant. I mean, given how early on in the season, that's shocking in itself. So 3 or 4 more bad results, we could see a change.
I don't think he'll get 3 or 4 chances again, because he must look at the team and he must look around and say, where is my inspiration? Where is my next win coming from? Who's going to provide me with something special? And you look at that team today and think, there's not a lot there, and for the money that's been spent and the ongoing confusion and saga with Pogba, I think it's very, very difficult for him to turn it around.
Dramatic situation developing, of course, at Manchester United. And no doubt West Ham United fans shouting at their TV screens. Lots of credit to Manuel Pellegrini and his men. Let's go back upstairs and join Carl Martino and Robbie Earle.
So, Robbie Earle, we see some surprise, some stunned, and some angry Manchester United faces looking at us right now up here. The words that Alan Shearer used, that Robbie used, I mean, we'll add to those. A bit dull today. West Ham dynamic. The London Stadium electric. The confluence of a lot of those things building the pressure on Jose Mourinho. You have to ignore history. You have to ignore stats to think he can turn this around. Can he?
Well, he can, but it's a tough job, Carl. And then how long Mourinho stays at this football club is a weekly debate, and you assess it weekly. I remember we talked about it at the beginning of the season and said he might do well to get through to Christmas. I totally agree with Alan Shearer, and this is the reason why. Manchester United go to West Ham today with a system that the manager chooses. It's a system, and when you have systems of play, it's to get the best out of your players. So Liverpool, we know the front three are going to be good. But Man City, the way they play. With Chelsea, they get the best of Eden Hazard. Who is this system today getting the best of? Tell me a Manchester United player.
West Ham and Arnautovic,
Arnautovic and Anderson, who scored goals. And so that's something that Jose Mourinho can do something about. Now, what you've got to start asking is, are the players giving their all? As Alan Shearer said, who's the player who's going to lift them out of the troubles? I mean, Alexis Sanchez, not even involved today. We're not hearing any news of injuries. I mean, is he just throwing things at the blackboard and hoping they stick?
That's what it feels like right now. And even before the game started, when we were sitting down there and you and Al and I were looking through the team sheet, we thought to ourselves, why is he setting up this way? And I just think Jose Mourinho in the past, and he's one of the greatest managers to have ever coached in the game, he put himself into a corner, and sometimes he backs himself and his club into a corner, but he fights his way out. I don't see the way out of this one. And that had his fingerprints all over it today. Tactically, that's how he wanted to set the team up. You can see the players aren't interested. Listen, are they culpable? Of course. But you have to ask yourself at this point, what's the way out of this? And you know what? Ed Woodward, Rebecca, was sitting there watching that performance live. He's the man in the middle of his saga. Penny for his thoughts right now.
Chubb, thank you.